Hi, I'm Deepak Shukla. You're watching Defense Insight, and in today's video, we'll talk about India's bilateral relations with Israel. Israel is located in the Middle East, surrounded by Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and Lebanon. It has Mediterranean Sea to the west and Gulf of Aqaba to the south that connects it to the Red Sea. Jerusalem is the capital, however, the city is claimed by both Israel and Palestine. The relations between the two are deeply rooted in the past. There are evidences of trade between the people of Indus Valley civilization and the civilizations of Mesopotamia. There had also been practices of maritime trade since many centuries which led to settlement of Indian communities in the Arab world. During medieval period, Jewish traders from Middle East traded gold, silver, and precious stones with India. The onset of European colonialism saw the migration of Jews to India and most settled in Surat and Mumbai, undertaking manufacturing and commercial activities in Gujarat and Bombay. The period of 1920 saw the Indian National Congress taking a pro-Arab stand as India perceived Palestinian struggle as a larger Arab struggle against imperialism. In 1937, when Peel Commission report recommended partition of Palestine, the INC in its 1938 Haripura session condemned the partition and extended support to the Arabs. Although the INC was sympathetic to the Jewish persecution in Central Europe, it was not in support of a separate home for the Jews. It made clear that division of Palestine on religious grounds should not be allowed. After the conclusion of World War II, United Nations was handed the mandate for Palestine. The UN established the United Nations Special Committee on Palestine, also known as UNSCOP, which presented its final report in September of 1947. Most countries favored the partition, but India, Iran, and Yugoslavia advocated a federal Palestine with both Arabs and Jews as the part of the territory. As the partition plan won at United Nations General Assembly, 14th May 1947 saw the birth of Israel as a state, and both the US and USSR recognized its existence. Given the traumatic experience of Indians during partition, India decided to wait before providing recognition to avoid inviting hostilities from the Arab world. By 1950, Turkey and Iran too recognized Israel, leaving India to finally do so in September of 1950. Despite always supporting the Arab world and Egypt in general, Egypt voted against India on the issue of Hyderabad in the United Nations, leading India to rethink its policy. During the 1962 war with China, Israel provided military assistance to India. In the 1965 Pakistan war, Pakistan managed to gain the support of Arab states against India. India again asked for heavy mortar and ammunition and was provided with the same, but despite so, India took no steps to boost relationship with Israel. Moreover, in the Six Days War of 1967, India blamed Israel for escalating conflict and showed support to Egypt and the Arab states. After the creation of RAW in 1968, India began intelligence cooperation with Israeli Mossad. In the 1971 conflict with Pakistan, India again saw the Arabs taking side of Pakistan and ignoring the Indian refugee crisis. With the coming of Rajiv Gandhi to power, India signaled a fresh approach to its Israel policy and initiated a number of moves in Israel's favor. When in 1985 Israel attacked Lebanon, as the PLO was based out of there, PLO being the Palestinian Liberation Organization, the Arabs sponsored a resolution for expulsion of Israel from the United Nations, which India abstained to vote at. Since 1987, Pakistan had been using US-trained Afghan Mujahideens to create unrest in Kashmir, and when India began to suppress this externally sponsored insurgency, Pakistan used the OIC Forum, which is the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, to internationalize the Kashmir issue, and the OIC even sent a fact-finding mission to Kashmir, which was not appreciated by India as OIC had no jurisdiction over an internal issue of India. India now felt that its pro-Arab policy during the Cold War did not serve any strategic support to India on the Kashmir issue, and on July 1992, India extended full diplomatic relations to Israel. As India liberalized its economy and began diversification in the defense industry, it began to forge new alliances with Israel. Post the Kargil War, both sides began cooperation on border control and counter-terrorism exercises. Areas of cooperation include agriculture and water management. Despite being a water-scarce nation, Israel is an agricultural exporter to the European Union. India too, being a water-stressed nation, can learn a lot from its expertise in the field. Defense. There is a joint working group on terrorism, and Israel has supplied India with Falcon AWACS systems, Searcher UAVs, Heron drones, M46 field guns, radars, and the joint production and co-development of Barak 8 missiles. Space. The space agencies of the two countries, ISA and ISRO, are working together in close cooperation with each other on a lot of projects. The latest one being an MOU on geosynchronous Earth orbit and lower Earth orbit optical link. Culture and education. In 2017, a record 70,000 Indians visited Israel, and with the current cooperation, the numbers are expected to rise. MOUs have also been signed to promote academic, cultural, and personal exchanges between the two countries. Between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's election in May 2014 and November of the same year, Israel exported $662 million worth of Israeli weapons and defense systems to India, which was greater than the total Israeli export to India during the previous 3 years combined. The Barak 8 long-range surface-to-air missile developed jointly by India and Israel was successfully tested in December of 2015. Indian military deployed an Israeli-developed comprehensive integrated border management system along its borders with Pakistan in August 2017. This is in line with India's plan to seal all of its 6,300-kilometer border with Pakistan and Bangladesh with the Israeli smart fence. If you'd like to know more about the CIBMS system and how it works, do check out our video, the link to which would be provided in the I button and the description of this video. India also participated in the Israeli Blue Flag military exercise for the first time in 2017. As of 2018, Air India has started direct flights between New Delhi and Tel Aviv to boost cultural exchange. There has also been increased support for Bollywood films, and an India-Israel Industrial R&D and Technology Innovation Fund has also been set up to help Israeli entrepreneurs to enter the Indian market. A landmark step was taken on July 4, 2017 when Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi became the first sitting Prime Minister to visit Israel. Here's a clip showcasing the welcome he received, showing how historic this visit was for both the countries.
My friend Prime Minister Narendra Modi, welcome to Israel. Aapka swaagat hai, mere dost. Prime Minister, we've been waiting for you a long time. We've been waiting almost 70 years, in fact, because yours is truly a historic visit. It's the first time an Indian Prime Minister is visiting Israel. We receive you with open arms. We love India. We admire your culture. We admire your history, your democracy, your commitment to progress. I remember, my friend, what you said in that first meeting. You said that when it comes to India-Israel relations, the sky is the limit. But actually, my friend, the sky isn't the limit, because today, even our space programs are working together to achieve even greater heights.
More than 30 countries in the United Nations do not recognize Israel. Hence, being accepted as a friend by India holds special value and significance for Israel and is cited as a win-win partnership for both the countries. For the partnership to realize its true potential, it is imperative that both the countries try to understand the compulsions of each other on a variety of regional and international issues. This could help steer the friendship to new heights. If you found this video helpful, do leave us a like and subscribe to the channel. This motivates us to make more such videos. Until then, keep learning because life never stops teaching. Jai Hind.